Is all the question marks to make a word.
These questions will separate the winners and losers.
Give us a cheer if you think you'll do badly. What do you do?
I'm a performing arts student.
Doesn't show. Yes, I'm a loser!
The massive worldwide game show.
Can we just pan back a little bit with the camera? I'm trying to work out if you're quite small or the people either side are very tall.
With one of UK's best comedians.
I collect tattoos.
What kind of tattoos?
Comedians.
Lee Evans, you've got the comedy store there. Have you got me?
I was gonna.
Stuff you.
New The 1% Club UK. Wednesday on 7.
You know I love you, Jarvis, but there's just no way you'd be able to get dinner on the table in under 20 minutes like this. Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. HelloFresh, hello dinner.
With Cold Power's unique cold water enzyme, clothes live on and on.
With a house frame made from true core steel, your home is ready for a full life. For a home that's built to last, choose the inner strength of true core steel.
I think a nice Marlborough Sauv Blanc should do the trick.
Get the right drop for any occasion at Celebrations. Good shout.
With Light and Easy, you can lose weight and enjoy more free time with delicious, healthy meals starting from around $8.50 each. Enjoy Australia's best ready-made meal delivery service as awarded by CanStar Blue. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
I created you to clean and freshen our toilet every day.
But there's a better Bref way.
Bref Power Active. Every flush activates its power to keep your toilets clean and fresh 24/7. That's a must. Bref Power Active.
We'll be the place where the ocean meets the sky. We'll soak it up and have the time of our lives. These are the moments we live for. Once in a lifetime, everything we want more. This is the start of a new day, it's a good life. These are the moments we live for.
Rise and shine, Australia. It's time to get up to 50% off all Aussie-made mattresses at Bedshed. Plus, get a bonus 30% off any bed frame with your mattress purchase. Bedshed. No one's better in the bedroom.
This says it all. Hungry for more MKR?
Oh, nice.
Don't miss a single bite. Watch the new season anytime on 7+.
This is Australia on a plate.
And get the recipes to all your favourite dishes.
New dishes, new flavours, new technique.
Thank you,
It's
Chef.
such an honour.
Don't miss a minute of new MKR.
And it just keeps getting better.
Stream now on 7+.
G'day everyone, it has been incredibly, well, it's been wet, but it's been windy. We've still got some pretty average sea and surf conditions tomorrow, so if you're anywhere near the coast or heading there and you've got some ideas, forget about it. There are large and powerful surf warnings pretty much the whole coastline and some big seas and swells. In fact, I might be able to show you. There's mostly dry conditions all around the place. Have a look at that. Look at the swells still. Crazy.
It might look like a beauty, but it's a no from John West. It's what John West rejects that makes John West the best. The same great catch, now in a fresh new pack.
Panadol, trusted by millions of Aussies for every everyday pain.
The world is changing, and so is AGL. It's why more Australians are changing to solar, batteries, to electric vehicles, and updating to efficient all-electric homes to save on their bills. Discover how you can join the change with AGL.
When the lucky country isn't so lucky, it's lucky you're with Amy.
Lucky you're with Amy.
With Cold Power's unique cold water enzyme, clothes live on and on.
Go on, take the plunge. Find out how adults can improve their reading and writing skills. Call the Reading Writing Hotline.
1300 65506.
It could change your life.
Introducing a breakthrough in sleep technology. The all-new Sealy Posturepedic Acclaim. Featuring the most innovative support system that senses and responds, helping to align your body. Relentlessly designed and tested, so you wake up rested. Ready to take on the day. Innovation never felt so good. Sealy Posturepedic Acclaim. In store now.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like crops that survive droughts and medical research. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
We're on fire. Huge drop into the water, total chaos.
Sounds wild, especially over the loudspeaker.
Good job, everyone. That was a drill.
Not thinking straight? A Dare Fix will fix it.
With Telfast, you don't have to be sneezy or sleepy. Telfast, that's a no-brainer. Available for a great price at Chemist Warehouse. Disney's Snow White in cinemas now.
No one likes to wait around. That's why at Origin, we're simplifying customer service from making it easy to manage your account to an app that puts you in control. That's all kinds of useful.
Stalwart captain and Essendon royalty.
Oh, what a finish!
Bombers champion Joe Watson on the highs and lows of his footy career.
There's memories that are really painful, and then there is now a reflection of being able to move on from it.
Unfiltered. Wednesday on 7 and...
Some major horsepower underneath that hood.
Yeah, you could handle what's underneath here.
Didn't stop me from trying.
To win her heart.
My boyfriend isn't very happy with you.
He'll put his life on the line.
You break it, I'll break you.
We're dead. We need to back out of this now.
I swear you've got some kind of death wish.
No deal.
And we are going to have a problem.
Home and Away. This week at 7 on 7.
Ooh, should have gone to Specsavers. It's the Specsavers store-wide Spextravaganza. Get any 2 pairs for just $199, save up to $200. Limited time only.
It's all around us, no need to look far.
Cherish those golden to us this Easter. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate. Say it with gold. Ferrero Rocher.
When the lucky country isn't so lucky, it's lucky you're with Amy.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Oh, that was a whopper. 45 minutes to reel in with a broken reel. Kingfish with a handcaster. Marlin on that charter. Oh, my greatest catch. The Gasmate Portofino 16-inch gas pizza oven.
The Great Northern Greatest Catch has landed. Get a BCF voucher in every specially marked case, plus thousands of prizes up for grabs.
This year, we go for the boat.
I've always loved dogs. Caring for them is so rewarding, but sometimes heartbreaking. Most of the health issues I see every day are food-related. Dogs need a complete and balanced whole food diet to thrive. That's why I feed Kobe a nutrient-rich Prime 100 single protein diet, because I know if he's healthy, we're both happy.
It's so awkward to brush in circles at the back. What if I don't?
Plaque will build up.
Dr. Rob?
And plaque build-up can lead to cavities. Switch to Oral-B IO. The round brush head hugs each tooth to clean even your back molars to remove up to 100% more plaque. Try Oral-B IO.
The new Hot Honey range has dropped at Macca's with the Hot Honey McSpicy, the Hot Honey Dipping Sauce, and the Hot Honey McCrispy. Embrace the drip at Macca's.
We'll be the place where the ocean meets the sky. We'll soak it up and have the time of our lives. These are the moments we live for. Once in a lifetime, everything we want more. This is the start of a new day, the good life. These are the moments we live for.
We're on fire. Huge drop into the water, total chaos.
Sounds wild, especially over the loudspeaker.
Good job, everyone. That was a drill.
Not thinking straight? A Dare Fix will fix it.
Close to the epicentre in central Myanmar, the cruelty of this disaster is everywhere.
More people on the ground.
A campaign to take down Tesla, rallying against owner Elon Musk.
You need the team that never stops.
Big steps promised as shoppers struggle to find their feet.
7 News. Unstoppable.
Save, earn, bank. Live greater with banking that puts you first.
Only one way down.
Hey, we're here!
It's time for you to push.
No.
Can 911 get there before it's too late? New 911 Lone Star. Next month.
Good evening. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton have traded barbs from opposite sides of the country as polls show Labor's momentum is building. The AFL world has been rocked by the sudden death of former Richmond and Collingwood star Andrew Cracker. Donald Trump has sparked alarm, saying he's serious about running for a third time in the White House. And an unmanned rocket has exploded just 40 seconds after liftoff in Norway.
Ever driven to the edge of the world? With a Hyundai Hybrid, now you can. Discover the Hyundai Hybrid range today.
How was your promotion thing?
I don't know.
Well, I'm so proud of you, Dad. I got you something in the glove box. And before you ask, they didn't have fruit and nut.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
The new Hot Honey range has dropped at Macca's with the Hot Honey McSpicy, the Hot Honey Dipping Sauce, and the Hot Honey McCrispy. Embrace the drip at Macca's.
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui. Huh?
You should shop around if you're not happy with your car insurance. Or your barber.
For award-winning customer satisfaction, make the change to Yui. You insured.
The Sophia Waters Chisholm Land Release with over 20 registered lots, and we'll cover your stamp duty. Start your dream home today from $400,000. Inspections every weekend on Ballymore Drive. Visit alum.com.au.
Run it. That's power in my veins, let it go. Hey, that's power in my veins, let it show. Step into the stars and now you know that I know. Yeah, feeling like a boss, let it move, let it grow. And that's power. And that's power. Hey, that's power. Yeah.
Repairing an economy takes time, but Australia is turning the corner. In just 3 years, we've opened 87 free Medicare urgent care clinics, delivered tax cuts and energy bill relief, halved inflation and got wages heading up. So we can now build on these foundations, extend energy bill relief, more bulk billing for all Australians, another tax cut for every taxpayer. We're building Australia's future.
Authorised P. Ericsson, ALP Canberra.
The first ever Kia K4 with ultra-wide screen. Now a party up front and business in the back. Kia's biggest small sedan, the Kia K4.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Which act will have everyone shouting for the Golden Buzzer? A night of eye-popping, jaw-dropping performances on New Britain's Got Talent. Thursday, 8:30 on 7.
You haven't shopped around.
Eric places all the question marks to make a word.
These questions will separate the winners and losers.
Give us a cheer if you think you'll do badly. What do you do?
I'm a performing arts student.
Doesn't show. Yes, I'm a loser!
The massive worldwide game show.
Can we just pan back a little bit with the camera? I'm trying to work out if you're quite small or the people either side are very tall.
New The 1% Club UK. Wednesday, 7:30 on 7.
Take me back to the 80s. This isn't the 80s.
It is the 1680s.
Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. Less stress, more variety, no one getting prickly about dinner. No offence. Beautiful. HelloFresh, hello dinner.
It's not where we go, but how far we go, and the moments we have along the way. Introducing the all-new Audi Q6 e-tron. Electrifying, exhilarating, invigorating. It's a new era that powers us forward and leaves us breathless. This is you. This is us. This is Audi.
I punt with Ladbrokes because they have more ways to chuck on a multi than Glenn Boss has.
Ladbrokes. Go, you good thing. You win some, you lose more.
And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. Oh, just to be with you is having the best day of my life.
Give a cheer and a half for your biggest supporter with Cadbury.
With Yui's comprehensive car insurance, I feel safe because I'm covered for what life might throw at me. Or drop on me.
Car insurance that's a bit more U-shaped. Yui, you insured.
Come on, darling, up you hop. There's a glass and a half in everyone. Cadbury Hollow Easter eggs in store now.
Repairing an economy takes time, but Australia is turning the corner. In just 3 years, we've opened 87 free Medicare urgent care clinics, delivered tax cuts and energy bill relief, halved inflation and got wages heading up. So we can now build on these foundations, extend energy bill relief, more bulk billing for all Australians, another tax cut for every taxpayer. We're building Australia's future.
Authorised P. Ericsson, ALP Canberra.
Richard Harris was executed in 2017.
What is your professional assessment?
You want me to profile a dead serial killer. Why?
He's not actually dead.
The hunt is on.
Some of the most dangerous criminals escaped from a classified prison.
It was no accident. Someone wanted those killers back out in the world.
What are you hiding?
The Hunting Party. Stream Tuesday on 7+.
Experience all the beauty where there's adventure at every turn.
I've fallen in love with Sydney all over again.
Showcasing all Sydney has to offer.
You'll be champing at the bit for the best view in town, giving you more bang.
On 7 News.
It's all right. You've got this. Let's get this cot home.
If you need help wrangling your money, we're right there with you. NAB, more than money.
Could I do the Lucky Deluxe Ultra Wash, please?
Add some thrill to your wait with the thrill of a $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download the app now.
And there is only one...
I'm alive. Just kidding. I'm dead inside, emotionally. But that's neither here nor there. There's still only one cure for hungry, thirsty, and that's Oak. With its full strength and full taste, it's full on. Oh, Oak. Kill hungry, thirsty, dead.
Run it. That's power in my veins, let it go. Yeah. Hey, that's power in my veins, let it show. Tap into the stars and now you know that I know. Yeah. Feeling like a boss, let it move, let it grow. That's power. And that's power. Hey, that's power. Yeah.
Ultra cheesy mozzarella sticks. Pickers, let's get silly.
When I got my first pen reel, it was a game changer. Some of my mates are using much higher end reels, but I can get 2 or 3 of my pens for the price of their one. And after years of punishment, the pens keep going, battle after battle, fish after fish.
It's all right. You've got this. Let's get this cot home.
If you need help wrangling your money, we're right there with you. NAB, more than money.
Every minute of every day, a child is admitted to hospital in Australia. You can help bring them the happiness they need with every step you take this May. Join the Starlight Super Steps Challenge for sick kids. Walk or run 10,000 steps a day in May and raise vital funds to make hospital a happier place for seriously ill children. Join now at supersteps.org.au.
The Good Friday Appeal has been giving back to the kids for over 94 years, raising funds to help deliver the best possible care for patients and their families at the Royal Children's Hospital, Melbourne. Every donation, no matter how big or small, makes an enormous difference to the children who are able to donating, volunteering or fundraising at one of our many events. Donate now and change a child. Everyone knows that a dog is a man's best friend. Everyone except this dog.
She just hates him.
What I want to do is up the ante a little bit. This feels high risk.
New Dogs Behaving Very Badly. Thursday 7:30 on 7.
With Cold Power's unique cold water enzyme, clothes live on you.
With GIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, get lifetime guarantee on authorized repairs. If it's precious to you, protect it with us. GIO. Protect precious.
Getting ready in a rush? Refresh and restyle with Batiste Dry Shampoo, $6.84 each from Chemist Warehouse. It gently removes oil to refresh hair between washes and is great for adding lift and texture. Live, look, feel fabulous every day at Chemist Warehouse.
Go on, take the plunge. Find out how adults can improve their reading and writing skills. Call the Reading Writing Hotline.
13
300 655
It could change your life.
You work hard for your money. Those early mornings and long days. Your dedication and passion, diligence and foresight, building towards your future. Now, it's time to make your money work hard for you. CFMG Capital has a proud track record returning 100% of capital invested with 100% of the published targeted returns. Whatever goals you have set for yourself, CFMG Capital will help get you there. Real people delivering real results.
It's all around us, no need to look far.
Cherish those golden to us this Easter. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate. Say it with gold. Ferrero Rocher.
What kind of crazy life hack is this?
The dishwasher doesn't dry the dishes well enough.
Try Finish Rinse Aid.
For 2 times better drying, including on plastic, improving shine and protecting glasses.
Finish, the real life hack.
Make Easter super at Super Cheap Auto. Save 30% on the Bowden's Own detailing range when you buy 3 or more. Or get 20% off Century Automotive and 4-wheel drive batteries. Plus club members get $5 credit for every 100 spent. Make it super. Super Cheap Auto.
It's just myself, my dogs, sheep. Yeah, I'm just looking for that dream girl. Oh, she's right, isn't she?
But what happens next
It's been less than 24 hours and we've already lost 2 girls.
will break his heart.
Still a shock to me.
Will Farmer Tom find the love of his life?
I'm hoping for the fairy tale.
New Farmer Wants a Wife.
Meet these acrobatic experts in treetop travel. But up in the trees, landing in the wrong place could prove fatal. In such a kaleidoscope of landscapes, only the most ingenious will make it.
Tom Hanks brings you The Americas, Tuesday, 7:30 on 7.
Take me back to the 80s. This isn't the 80s.
It is the 1680s.
With Cold Power's unique cold water enzyme, clothes live on and on.
Sensitivity is when you feel that short, sharp pain. Sensodyne Repair and Protect has Novamin. It forms strong reparative layer over sensitive teeth. Try Sensodyne. It works. Nobody does sensitivity like Sensodyne.
The world shouldn't be so complicated. That's why at Origin, we think things should be more straightforward. From our customer service to how your bill looks. That's all kinds of useful.
We're for Sunday cruisers and rush hour warriors. But right now, we're for Phoebe, who needs to pick up her date by 8.
Give it a try.
Thanks so much.
Join NRMA, Australia's largest roadside assistance network.
It's the final week of Surprise Fries at Macca's. And this week's draw is a chance to win a brand new car as our Prime Minister. Plus free fries for a year. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes.
In a bit of a mess? Pino Clean has 3 times multi-action power to clean, disinfect and freshen. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
Join Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get a $200 sign-up credit on your first electricity bill. Join Energy Australia online today or call 133 466.
Getting my script tonight is so simple.
Over 2 million Australians have turned to Instant Scripts for their healthcare needs. Our doctors are here for you 24/7.
The world is changing, and so is AGL. It's why more Australians are changing to solar, batteries, to electric vehicles, and updating to efficient all-electric homes to save on their bills. Discover how you can join the change with AGL.
stalwart captain and Essendon royalty.
Oh, what a finish!
Bombers champion Joe Watson on the highs and lows of his footy career.
There's memories that are really painful, and then there is now a reflection of being able to move on from it.
Unfiltered, Wednesday on 7 and 7+.
This program is brought to you by Kitchen Connection, Australia's #1 kitchen renovator. From inspiration to installation, we do it all.
Tonight, Melbourne's midfield misery is the Demons' season at Flashpoint. Just how do they turn it around? We'll analyse. Plus, new detail on St Kilda's wooing of Tom de Koning as Carlton struggle to keep their ruck star. And the Richmond dilemma for Noah Bolder. All that ahead. Get ready. This is The Agenda Setters. Welcome to the Agenda Setters. Let's dive in. The multiple Alf Brown winner and the Walkley Award-winning Caroline Wilson is with us as always. The 300 gamer and the 4-time best and fairest in Kane Corns and the 5-time All-Australian and 6-time Trevor Barker medalist Nick Revolt with us as per always. And we start tonight with the Demons and that misery of the midfield. It was meant to be so different when Brad Green set the tone for 2025 back at the best and fairest last year.
Round 1 next year, when I see the first ball bounce and our midfield of Gawn, Viney, Oliver and Petracca.
As those big names are hung their hat on, Nick, and they're the ones that are not getting it done in the midfield at the moment.
Yeah, they're not. And they spent the whole summer talking about inviting those guys back into the group. They spoke a lot about love, a lot about respect, a lot about connection, a lot about culture, and I just wonder, so yeah, you had your best player, Petracca, who was shopping himself around, asking to leave last year and rubbing his teammates up the wrong way, not showing up to the best and fairest. Your other best player, Clayton Oliver, was not living up to AFL standards, yet you allowed them to be the victims throughout the off-season. I just wonder what effect that has had, what ripple effect has that had throughout the rest of the group as we start this season.
So to guarantee those players midfield spot before the pre-season had even started at the best and fairest, you're saying a Jared Rivers or a Caleb Windsor or other players that wanted those midfield minutes to go, well, hang on, I've sort of stood up there for this season while those guys were out of action, performed pretty well, and then my spot's been lost because the president's guaranteed it to a couple of guys who don't really even want to be here.
Yeah, I think that sort of thing can permeate through a group, and it happens really quickly. You spoke about Trent Rivers. He was brilliant through the midfield last year, finished 6th in the best and fairest in the absence of those guys, and all of a sudden he's back out, he's to a half-back flank, and the stars who didn't want to be there, they're not getting it done.
The numbers don't lie. You look at their midfield minutes and you look at the numbers, and this was their calling card, Kane. This is what they hung their hat on. And it was that group of players that took them to a grand final. And to Nick's point, have they conceded too much ground? Is the game now shifting? They missed a moment to take the Oliver trade when it was there.
Yeah, they should have done that, Hutchie. They should have got off that deal as quickly as they possibly could have. And his numbers, 30-odd, and they'll look okay on paper, but they were exposed badly, and teams are coming after Clayton and Christian because they can't cover the ground like these young, quick teams, Hawthorn and Gold Coast can. So if you can't run, you really can't play. And we're seeing that from Matt Rao, the burst and the ability to exploit them at the MCG on Saturday was plain for all to see. So that was their strength, their scores from stoppage and their combative nature that they played. And now they've lost that and the old issues are still there. They reviewed the game style in the off-season. They said it needs to be better. I think Simon Goodwin's probably got 6 weeks to fix this.
What do you mean 6 weeks?
Well, I think he's got about 6 weeks to fix the significant issues in their game or show significant improvement. They've lost by 10 plus.
Or what?
Well, he's in trouble. That's just the reality. I think we would all say that. I think most of us would say if you're going to lose by 10 plus goals 2 weeks in a row to two sides who haven't played finals the previous year and be smashed in what was your strength, there needs to be some advancements in their game style in the next 6 weeks or there'll be trouble.
And Caro, they pitched their wagon, at least the players did, on love, which the president conceded was driven by the coach and players.
Yeah, it was a bit weird when Cootie and Richo came to the board and presented this to us.
Is it real or is it spin?
With The love. I think it's real. You know, we're not saying we're perfect. We're not the finished product. You know, last year there was a lot of stuff going on. We had to look internally before we could grow as a footy team and a footy club, and I think that's the connection that we're trying to bring back.
Well, it was a 3-word trademark the players came up with: love, play, celebrate. Now, clearly that was an indictment on what has gone on over the last two years, and certainly last year. And I think he made a bit of sense there, Brad Green, when he said we had to heal before we could move on. Now, I understand that was not a good performance on the weekend. The last two haven't been, but they were pretty good against GWS. And people are talking about that Gold Coast midfield as potentially the best in the competition.
Caro, they're 0-3 on the back of this. Yep. They're a mile off. They're a mile off.
I agree that they're at a turning point.
Have they been too subservient to the playing group to try and reconnect?
Yeah, so that's my point. I love that love connection piece. Absolutely,
it's overboard though. It's overboard.
Well, what we're seeing on the field would suggest that hasn't worked. There doesn't seem to be connection.
It's fake.
There doesn't seem to be respect. I just wonder whether they allowed some of the guys to dictate too much, like Petrarca and Oliver, and become the victims in all of that, where all of a sudden it became about, we've got to love you guys and get you back in the fold because we did the wrong thing by you. Petrarca shopped himself around. He didn't want to be there. You know, it's a big flip. It's a big turn.
Nick, I think Petrarca was the one who was causing that. I mean, Oliver was a victim and seriously unwell and had other issues. Petrarca was the one who was really rubbing the playing group up the wrong way at the end of last year. And I don't think he did behave well, but I also think the club owed him a massive apology for what happened on King's birthday. So, and there was wrong on both sides there.
Yeah.
My issue now is, the president is not really the president. I mean, he will be till the end of the year. They need, and we spoke about this last week on the show, Kane, they don't club, whether that is long term, and I think Alan Richardson has brought into this new mantra, but the CEO is the one who's going to have to deal with a coaching change or a coach re-signing, and it just baffles me that they still don't have a leader, and it's taken them so long to find one, and so few people want to do it.
And I'm concerned about Max Gawn. I am. There's not a player I admire more than Max Gawn in the game. Like, look at this and how they've just run this guy into the ground. To get Grundy in and to help him out was a good idea. It didn't work. Max was all in until he wasn't, until he had to play forward. So he's shares some responsibility there, but 99% ruck time, and they're so reliant on him for everything, not only on field,
that's it,
but also off field.
This guy leads the team, but he leads the club. I mean, talk about they don't have a CEO. Max is the pseudo everything.
He's the spokesperson for everything, and then you're asking him to do this, and teams know that, and they bash into him every week. They burn him into the ground. He's turning 34 this year. Like, he's not LeBron James. He can't spend $1 million on his body every year. At some point, age is going to catch up with you, and I think they've just done wrong by him, by the way that they've burnt him.
And forward connection was always going to be where they won and lost the season, because that was what they worked on all the off-season. They've got some issues there. Fritz is among them. He's a shadow of the player that kicked 6 goals in the grand final. In fact, that's symbolic. He's kicked 1 goal in 3 games. This looks like it's headed to a natural end for me. At the end of the year, he's 28. You know, he half looked around at the end of last year without saying so, and Melbourne would see him with some currency. He just doesn't look like he's been able to find any sort of cohesiveness in this team over the last 12 months. His numbers and his fall-off since Queen's birthday reflect that too.
He doesn't look like the player he was, there's no doubt about that, but I still think you're right. Maybe there's an amicable split there, because I still think he's a guy that would have real currency at 28 years of age.
And just on Pickett, don't fear it at the end of the year. I know that he's got a lot of years to go on that contract. If he wants out, they'll have all the currency. They'll get overpaid pick-wise. This is a team that's resetting 24 and under. I
always thought, no, hold those players that you want to their contract, but learning from Oliver and Petrarca and Petty probably as well, they probably should have cut their ties.
I think Simon Goodwin moves on too. He's a premiership coach. He lifted them to the top of the tree.
His choice?
3 years in a row.
Club's choice?
I think when that much bad stuff goes down, in the end you just have a breakup. Ditto with Nathan Buckley. Doesn't mean I think he will definitely coach again. No, you're not a premiership coach by coincidence.
But they need a fresh start.
I think they both do.
Caro, it's hard to know where to start with Carlton. They are in a bigger hole, it seems, than Melbourne. And their one shining light, De Koning, who had 28, he's probably the All-Australian ruckman at round 3. That's another big looming issue among many. St Kilda's offer is significant. Can you shed any light on how likely that is that he takes that offer at the end of the year?
Well, what we do know is that the St Kilda offer is real. I mean, this is there was a lot of talk about Finn Callaghan. He didn't even speak to the coach. Tom de Koning met Ross Lyon before Christmas, and the offer is 7 to 8 years at $1.7 million. Now, he is exactly the player St Kilda need, and I reckon now, Craig, it's down to Carlton or St Kilda.
I can't wrap my head around 1.7 for a ruckman. I just can't. I love him, Hutch. $1 million is about where I'm maxed out. He's a ruckman.
You're under market on that.
He's more than a ruckman.
I would think he takes that.
Well, you think,
imagine him and Marshall together.
Fremantle have learned from Luke Jackson. I kept hearing Luke Jackson's everything. He can be everything. He can be a midfielder. He can do this. He can do that. How influential has Luke Jackson been for Fremantle? It's the same discussion. You can't pay a ruckman 1.7.
Now, the other thing that they've lost, Carlton, is the ability to get people to stay and be part of something. They fished out big money, and we'll get to that in a moment. De Koning will have more money to go. And I think for the first time, St Kilda looked closer to a flag than Carlton. If you compare the 26 and under, so De Koning's 26 in July, and that's how I would stack them up, Nick. You look to the left there, and Sam Walsh isn't. We'll talk about him in a moment. Isn't the player that he was first meant to be. There's not really a genesis of a 26 under team there. We're at St Kilda, early days, I know, but there's some real emerging young players now. Wanganeen Malera and Darcy Wilson and others.
Yeah, well, the last few years, while Carlton have been in top-up mode because they've been going for it, because they've had such elite talent, St Kilda have been doing the opposite. They've been going back to the draft, albeit probably 5 years too late for them as well. But they have been able to stockpile a lot of talent. They get too caught up in the Koning and Marshall thing. Marshall's 30. So, I mean, his age has probably crept up on us a little bit. De Koning's a player for the next decade.
He's an adequate forward as well.
He can play forward. He started as a forward, Marshall.
And it brings us to Harry Mackay, which is sensitive, and we're empathetic to the anxiety that he's been going through and hopeful that he plays this weekend. But the reality is he played in a VFL practice match on the weekend, and he's, we think circa 1.3 million. He's got a climb with the salary cap. It's hard to know, but you would assume the money can't help the pressure or anxiety that he feels.
Yep.
And then they potentially lose another player who may have received some of that money, Nick.
Yep.
Because of it. How do Carlton deal with that, and what's your take?
Yeah, look, I'm very sensitive to this, and I've spoken about this in the past, and I know, Kane, you have as well in your book. And as someone that sort of struggled with anxiety at various stages throughout my life and my career, for me there was always a difference between anxiety, because it was kind of an irrational anxiety about you couldn't put your finger on it, and performance anxiety, which was extremely rational, because you know what you're about to do. You're about to go out and play and perform and be judged, because that's what the industry is, particularly when you're a big name player who's put his name out for big dollars. So that was something for me, the performance anxiety of the 24 hours leading into a game. I found torture every week, excruciating, but it was just something you had to navigate, because that was your responsibility as a player. And I really feel for Harry in this situation, because I've been there, albeit I never missed a game because it was my responsibility to play. But I feel for the clubs at the same time, because they've invested so heavily and they want him out there. I don't have the answer, but I am sensitive to it.
I think you've articulated that really well, Nick. I mean, clubs are openly talking now with the competition about indemnifying themselves in contracts against many illnesses with players.
And I think they should be able to.
Including mental health. So this is a situation, and Carlton's been very honest about it, exacerbated after round one, after the shock loss to Richmond, where Harry Mackay had a tough night, and exacerbated, didn't play the following week. Obviously, getting outside help. He has outside help outside of the club, but now his teammates all know about it. So, and yes, training this week, and very hopeful he will play. But Kane, I'm just wondering with you, his teammates all know about it. Did your teammates know when you went through? And I've read your biography, so I know what you went through.
Probably only my brother and the club doctor and the coach. So the club was incredibly supportive. I think Nick summed it up well. There's sometimes where you feel like you couldn't get out of the shower, and you needed people to come and sort of grab you out and help you play for those exact reasons. I never enjoyed playing. I felt sick. I dreaded running out and playing footy. But that was the performance anxiety that you essentially got over, or you were forced yourself to get over, and once the ball was bounced, you tended to forget about it. But it is a really tricky one. I've got sympathy for both parties. I really feel for Michael Voss, because if Harry Mackay plays, they probably win, and Carlton aren't as big a story as what they are today without him. and clubs are signing these massive contracts. Same goes with concussion, and there needs to be some protection in that.
I think within the footy club, we talk a lot about now love and connection and all of that. So much of the work that we did throughout sort of my time at the club was about building mental toughness and mental resilience for exactly that purpose. Because when you go out there, you're taking a risk, aren't you? Because you're out there on stage and you're going to be judged. And I just wonder whether maybe at Clubland, I don't know the answer, but maybe it's shifted more towards love and connection and all of that, rather than the resilience piece.
You went through it, and I've read your book as well, and it's fascinating the way you talk about it, but you would have had teammates in similar situations. What did you do as captain and leader? What did you know that they were going through it at the time?
Not always. I think players, fought their own battles, and I for sure became pretty insular in and around game day because I was fighting my own battles to try and get out there and get yourself in the best frame of mind. Once the ball's bounced, it's a different story. It's the waiting and the build-up that's the difficult part. But all you can do is put your arm around the players that you're aware of and create an environment where you can go out and you can make mistakes and you grow and you move on as a team and trying to shut out the noise. And that's the hardest part.
It's an awkward one for Carlton because athlete health has to be first. The size of that commercial deal, they just have to let it go, or is there an opportunity to have a meaningful conversation about it and the pressure that's maybe helping create, or
in terms of restructuring that deal?
I don't know.
Well, no. So part of the expectation, like I think anxiety comes from expectation. So the expectation on Harry is huge, and I think part of what feeds into that is the massive deal that he's on. So I think for sure that would be part of what is making it difficult for him.
Clubs have to weigh that up, and we're all sensitive to this issue, but clubs have to weigh the risk that they are taking up with these long-term deals, and I think it's time that the AFL come in and put a limit on them. Just make it 5 years like the NBA does. It's an easy solution. It's a better fix that protects the club and their finances.
It'll be a tricky one for incoming CEO Graham Wright, who has lots of things to solve. He's been in the coach's box. Paul Roos, the ex-Swans coach, didn't like that on the weekend.
Mind-boggling. It's very, very unusual. Coach's box.
Now, I've been racking my brains. I know there have been times when CEOs have been in the coach's box. On the weekend, in fact, Graham Wright was hosting a senior coterie member who'd won it was something they do where you go into the coach's box, and they felt this coterie member should have a chaperone, not fair on the club otherwise. But he has been in the coach's box previously this year to just see how everything works. Obviously, he's having a look at how things are going. And I'm sorry, Paul, but if you're going to be the CEO of a footy club and you've been a respected footy boss, you need to know what's going on in the coach's box, surely.
Graham Wright's probably different, isn't he? Because he has been a footy boss. He's not just a true commercial CEO. He's got that footy experience.
But if I saw Brendan Gale, for example, in the coach's box, or Greg Swan or Trevor Nisbet, they're footy people. You wouldn't be surprised at seeing that.
As we head to the break, the football world's in mourning tonight, and a tragedy today with a sad passing, the devastating passing of Andrew Cracker, aged 42, from a suspected heart attack on the weekend. 102 games for Richmond, 35 for Collingwood. The son of Jimmy Cracker played in a grand final, a mark of the year, a Sandover, a breathtaking, exciting talent, and taken too young and too soon from his family. And the thoughts of the football world tonight are with the family of Andrew Cracker.
Lovely to see everyone. Kind of mild mornings, but that's going to settle down over the next little while. We've still got the strong winds, but less than today, thank goodness. So things are easing. It is dry. We've still got large and powerful surf conditions, so any of those coastal activities are hazardous. Forget the rock fishing, the swimming, the surfing. If you're in doubt, you leave that stuff out. We get into here where we cool down a bit. And this weekend, our clocks go back 1 hour.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? Dove Advanced Care nourishes your skin to help it recover. So if you shave it, Dove it. Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant helps your skin recover after shaving.
Felix, I know what you're looking for.
Felix Gravy Lover. Delicious meaty chunks served with extra gravy. Your little rascal will find it good to the last slurp. Clever cats get Felix Gravy Lover.
Surprise Prize is back at Macca's with instant prizes like food, cash and gift cards. Plus weekly draws to win 10k cash and our surprisiest prizes ever. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win.
Come on, come here, come a little closer.
Small sedan.
I don't wanna hurt you. Little more, come
Big personality. The first ever Kia K4.
Kia, movement that inspires.
And there is only one.
I'm alive. Just kidding. I'm dead inside, emotionally. But that's neither here nor there. There's still only one cure for hungry, thirsty, and that's Oak. With its full strength and full taste, it's full on. Oh, Oak. Kill hungry, thirsty, dead.
Here's to those who have a crack at opening their own business out the back. Or the brave souls who have a crack at something other than butter chicken. And old mate's having a crack at working out a new workout.
Everything burns.
Hang in there, mate. At least when he wants to have a crack on the Sportsbet app, it's fast and easy. Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Enjoy your free trial, Mark.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So, how'd it sound?
Loud and clear.
Hear well, feel good. Try our new almost invisible Amply Mini for free. Call 13MyEars to book your appointment today.
Here at HCF, we created Flex My Extras so you can choose how you spend your limit. Spend a teeny tiny bit on teeth whitening or spend it all on acupuncture, or as I like to call it, spiky massage. Spend a little using online mental health programs. Sorry, this is private. Or spend a whole lot on physio. Join Flex My Extras and spend your limit your way. Now that's flexible. Wait, isn't she an actor?
Starting a business comes with what ifs. Like what if I open a barber but people stop cutting their hair? So set your business up right with ANZ and wonder what's the best that could happen.
One swing could change everything. It isn't golf, it's Live Golf. This week on 7+.
Agenda Setters is brought to you by Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack. What are you really gambling with?
Every great side has an identity. You know, you can't survive in a league at the highest level and not have an identity. We want our players to figure out what that identity piece is. You know, when people come to sit there and watch us play, whether it's family, friends or opposition supporters, what are they going to see?
The Suns are one of the buzz teams in the competition. The identity has emerged, the numbers don't lie, and who would have thought the match of the round, the big build-up against the Adelaide Crows this weekend, the two hottest offensive teams in the competition at the moment, and these numbers, small sample size admittedly, 2 games.
It is, but what he is saying there is you can identify the way that they want to play. They're getting after the opposition, they're turning the footy over in the front half. Their stoppage game is elite. I like a couple of moves that he's made. I like Touk Miller going forward and with great effect. Bailey Humphrey going inside and then pushing forward as well. The forward line looks good, Nick. You'd like a couple of these young key forwards in Reid and Walter and Ben King's doing his thing. But yeah, this team's ready to go. This team is ready to go. Don't be surprised if they overachieve on where everyone thought they would at the start of the year.
They look relentless.
Yeah.
For the first time, that's not a word I would have associated with the Gold Coast at any stage up until now.
You think they can win it?
I think they can. Yeah. Why not?
Win it.
Why not? Why can't you overachieve to where people think you are? Have you seen the talent on that list? Have you seen the players that aren't in it? Like, this is frightening. And be careful what you wish for, because the AFL have set this up. They've given them an easy draw year after year after year, and concessions that
for
they've
12
given.
years, and they haven't finished higher than 10.
So be careful, Caro, because
it's been a long wait. It's about time, quite frankly.
Yeah, and then when it happens, it's going to happen for a sustained period of time.
West Coast, on the other hand, have got all sorts of worries, and their captain's a big one. He was shifted to defence in the end. There's been a school of thought already that was disrespecting him.
Well, I want to ask Nick, you're the most competitive footballer I've ever seen.
Oh, I would have hated it.
Yeah, of course you would. That's what I'm asking. You said you didn't have an issue with it.
I don't have an issue with Andrew McQualter doing it. I might have hated it. Oscar Allen might hate it, but Andrew McQualter is
disrespectful.
No, I don't think so. He's on a fact-finding mission on the run. I mean, whether he plays forward and he kicks 3 or he plays back and he gets 3 kicked on him, what's the net result to the Eagles this year? It doesn't matter. Andrew McQualter's got to find out what he's got at his disposal and pull whatever move you need to get there.
You just criticised Melbourne for getting around players who've done the wrong thing, and I'm not saying Oscar Allen's done the wrong thing. Essendon for years was too busy making up with the players they'd betrayed.
I think coaching is about getting...
Andrew McQualter, as a first-year coach, has to stamp his authority quickly, surely.
Well, I think coaching is about getting the best out of your players. I'm not sure you're going to get the best out of your captain, who's kicked a lot of goals for you in a poor side, by humiliating him and putting him to full back.
This is what Andrew McQualter had to say about it after the game.
Look, potentially. Spoke to Oscar about that at the very start of pre-season. We knew we were slightly thin with key backs, but he's played a little bit of key back in his career as well. So it's an option, and we'll just have to see where it goes and matchups and who we're playing.
Now, the Eagles would already be frustrated about the recruiting. They've had an era of 4 or 5 years where things haven't really gone to plan. If you're running that club, you'd be demanding answers on how that football department had the pick of Hawthorn or Carlton's first-round pick this year, and they picked Hawthorns. They were given a first-round pick choice, and they bet that Hawthorn finished below Carlton. Were they watching the back end of last year under any circumstance? The last 11 games of last year, Hawthorn and Carlton were chalk and cheese. Carlton really cobbled a win together against North Melbourne and then West Coast. Hawthorn thrashed Carlton late in the season. Like, on what radar could you have picked that way? And that is, it's picked 18 versus picked 3 or 4 at the moment.
Was there was it sour grapes, you think, because they lost Barras to Hawthorn? Like, was it
if it was unprofessional.
Yeah. Well, how else could you explain it though? Well, what would be the
it's
other
easy
reason?
in hindsight, but how could you not play the futures game on Hawthorn? Even if you weren't sure they were going to go to the next level, the exposed form had the data point had to be the pick, didn't it?
Oh, I can't defend it. I can't.
Unbelievable.
The one defence is that we're 3 rounds in. And this time last year, no one was saying anything like this about Hawthorn.
Have you seen Hawthorn's last 25? I think they're 19 and 5.
I understand that. I understand.
So I'm not sure they were watching. You're really critical of the media for the criticism of Harley Reid last week.
No, I thought the pile-on got a bit over.
Yeah, so the issue is still there, and it's going to continue to be a topic. Adam Simpson, his former coach, was in commentary yesterday for this. So is that commentary okay?
I thought that was really measured.
Was it?
And it came from his former coach, for heaven's sake, speaking from experience.
Fairer than your commentary on him. Fairer.
And Kane, I'm not just talking about you.
From a better insight.
What has been unfair about my commentary on him?
Oh, I think you've been hard on him. And I'd love to see...
Of course I've been hard on him, because you should be hard on him. No, you mocked me when I went with this a year ago, and it's proven to be incredibly accurate, foreseeing the problem that was coming with Harley Reid. Now we're all talking about it.
They haven't helped him. They finally played him off half...
Adam hasn't helped him?
They finally played him off half-back yesterday.
He's not a half-back.
He needs to be given a chance, like young players are, to settle and to do some different things and not expected to be Gary Ablett Senior and win the game on his own.
I think it's fair enough to expect you don't give 7 free kicks away and you become a distraction and a detriment to your teammates. I think that is fair. Nothing about the criticism has been personal. It's been about that stuff that he must remove from his game, and his former coach agrees.
Speaking of young players, Nate Caddy, it was a great interview with you on the weekend on the 7 coverage, and he asked you afterwards if he could have a word to you and get some advice.
He did.
He's like a young Revolt in many respects. What was the conversation about? I don't know. Are you prepared to help him?
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure how professional it was at me, just walking off mid-interview to go and have a chat to the young fella, but I loved it. I love young guys that are keen to have a chat. I had a conversation with Riley Thilthorpe on the weekend, did a pre-game interview with him. I love chatting to the young key forwards. What did we speak about? We spoke about just some pretty simple bodywork stuff in marking contests. Like, it was pretty granular, but we've exchanged numbers. We'll catch up and have a coffee.
I was going to say, are you that hard to get a hold of that he has to do it on national television?
No, well, that was the first time we'd met. I hadn't seen him play because we've obviously just moved back. But
so you'll go and see him?
Yeah, we'll have a coffee. I've had a couple of coffees with some young guys since I got back, and I enjoy it. It's to lens back into the new age players. Kane, you should try it.
No,
you should catch up with Harley Reid.
I'm busy.
You have more patch-up coffees than advice coffees.
No, our other panellist, Luke Hodge, is doing that.
He's doing that.
Yep.
Now, of course, Wednesday night, I should say, speaking of the Bombers, how good is this going to be? Hamish McLaughlin with Job Watson Wednesday night at 9:30. Unfiltered has been the breakout success so far of the year. The Craig McRae interview was gripping. Simon Goodwin as well last week, and now Job Watson, as you've never seen him before, unfiltered. with one of TV's great interviewers and storytellers, Hamish McLaughlin, on Wednesday night here on 7. Our two biggest experts in footy across the 7 coverage are Kane Corns and Nick Reebok. They're our visionaries. They take you inside the vision every Monday night.
Well, Matty Nicks had an unbelievable day in the coach's box. I want to take you back to last week where Charlie Comben took 8 intercept marks. So this is what he did against Melbourne. He was allowed to do this, Nick. They kept kicking the footy to him. So rightly, Alistair Clark's has gone, well, he was pretty successful last week. We're going to try and free him up behind the ball again and hopefully chop out in front of Riley, Thilthorpe, Fogarty and also Tex. It didn't go to plan.
No, let's have a look what Matty Nicks did. He sent one of the most disciplined Adelaide players to him, and that's Ben Keays, who straight away, you can see Ben Keays, the ball's in the middle of the ground. I'm getting in a spot where I can still get used, but Charlie Comben is no chance to get back and defend this one-on-one. Riley Thilthorpe gets a one-on-one. Aiden Core panics. Goal to Adelaide.
So he gets nothing for that. No stat, nothing.
But this is when you know a forward line is humming, when you've got the talent, but you've also got the selflessness and the discipline. Again, he's bodying up on Comben here. As soon as he sees he can't influence, okay, now the ball's on the ground, Charlie Comben, come and play my game. And Ben Keays tests him forward, gets involved in the chain. Comben's 30 metres behind him, and it's another Adelaide goal.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable runner, Ben Keays. He's played this role for a while, and he's going to make you pay as soon as he sniffs he can get the footy. So this is another one here. Comben's like, do I go with him or not? He wants to be here, and he unnaturally has to go because now he realises, Nick, that if he doesn't go, and he ends up doing nothing.
Yeah, so it's smart and it's selfless from Keays. He keeps him engaged. Okay, yep, now I can get used. Comben's got to come with me. So what does that mean in front of the footy? It means Taylor Walker, he gets a one-on-one, he turns and looks inside 50, and Fogarty gets the next one-on-one and he marks another Adelaide goal.
That's exactly where Comben would have been last week, but Ben Keays had driven him up the ground. Unbelievable effort from Matty Nicks. Alistair Clarkson didn't have a good day in the coach's box. I can't believe you could give one of the hottest players in the game, Isaac Rankin, goal side. So you've got to keep this guy towards your goal, not let him get in behind you and out the front of stoppage. This happened time and time again. Now, he didn't use the ball as well as he usually would and make you pay, Rankin, but if you're going to allow him time and space kicking the ball inside forward 50, look out, look at this. Sucked in, Will Phillips, I think it is, sucked in, Rankin's fakes. Once again, there's no one on him. One of the hottest players in football, the most dangerous players in football. He's got time to say, oh, lead up, and he'll usually make you pay. So Matthew Nicks, massive tick. Alistair Clarkson's got some questions to answer after that coaching performance.
Great stuff, Kane and Nick on the visionaries here on the Agenda Says as we head into the break. After the break, Caro's call as Caroline takes us inside her views. Ruse Marks is here. And are there concerns for the Cats? All ahead on the Agenda Setters.
She might be my dream woman.
To win her heart,
My boyfriend isn't very happy with you.
he'll put his life on the line.
We are going to have a problem.
Home and Away, this week on 7.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like teachers with real classroom experience. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
So don't let a chip spoil your trip.
Is that a chip?
That happens a lot, but O'Brien could have helped.
A chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener than a new windscreen. And with car insurance, it's usually free.
So don't let that little chip spoil your trip. Book today.
Looking to enhance your daily energy levels? Try Barocca Energy Orange Effervescent tablets from Chemist Warehouse. With 12 essential vitamins and minerals, including B-complex vitamins, vitamin C, magnesium, calcium and zinc to enhance energy levels and physical endurance. It's science-backed and vitamin-packed. Own the zone with Barocca Energy 60 effervescent tablets, just $19.99 at Chemist Warehouse. Also available in a range of great tasting flavours. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Rachel?
Uh-huh.
Get a flexible gig that works around your schedule. Sign up to Deliver with DoorDash.
Go on, take the plunge. Find out how adults can improve their reading and writing skills. Call the Reading Writing Hotline.
1300 6556.
It could change your life.
And there is only one...
I'm alive. Just kidding. I'm dead inside, emotionally. But that's neither here nor there. There's still only one cure for hungry, thirsty, and that's Oak. With its full strength and full taste, it's full on. Oh, Oak. Kill hungry, thirsty, dead.
Come on, come here, come a little closer. Don't
Small sedan.
I don't wanna hurt you. Little more, come
Big
in.
personality. The first ever Kia K4.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Enjoy your free trial, Mark.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So, how'd it sound?
Loud and clear.
Hear well, feel good. Try our new almost invisible Ampli Mini for free. Call 13MyEars to book your appointment today.
Welcome to St. Denis Medical.
Let's get out there and heal some people!
It actually doesn't look too bad. Swollen, pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse.
She says you can't start until her cross is here.
I brought my Aunt Maria's cross.
You can just give it to me.
St. Denis Medical. Stream now on 7plus. Agenda Setters is brought to you by Omo Ultimate. Wash off whatever is holding you back and play on.
Welcome back to the Agenda Setters, football's most decorated and awarded journalist and opinionist over the last several decades is Caroline Wilson. And each Monday night, Caro brings us Caro's Call.
And before I start tonight, Craig, I just want you to have a listen again to what Richmond coach Adam Uze said after the game on the weekend.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, we've handed down that suspension. We feel like that's the right amount of time. Like 6 games is a fair whack. It would have been handy today. So, we haven't changed.
So Adam's talking about Noah Bolter, who surely cannot play, as he's scheduled to do, in front of a family-friendly crowd at the Barossa Valley on Sunday week. I'm so surprised that Richmond and the game's head office were sticking to their guns today when they said that he would play with their blessing. And frankly, I don't believe it. Bolter was not suspended for 6 senior games. He was suspended for 4 after his attack, after his bashing of Thomas Washbrooks at Mulwala on December 30. The game, I'm sure Richmond nor the AFL had seen the vision of what happened before they handed down that suspension. Bolter and his not-so-perfect history really shouldn't play at least until after April 22 when he's sentenced, although that takes us to Anzac Eve against Melbourne at the MCG, and that stage 2 feels strong for a player who committed, in the words of police, a wild assault. And even if he gets off on April 22 with a fine or a Community Service Act, the game should have been far tougher on a player who committed such a violent act. I don't know why they keep saying 6 weeks. It was 4 senior games. Yeah. And I am convinced... Well, the AFL and Richmond are saying that. And I'm convinced that they will find a way. They'll say that he has to do he has to do more training, that he won't be ready. You can't play him in the Barossa.
I agree with that.
And I'm not sure you can play him at Easter, and I'm not sure you can play him on Anzac Eve. So wait till after he's been sentenced at the very least. It's not like we're waiting till next April. We're waiting for another 3 weeks.
And 4 weeks. I agree with you. There's no way that the Richmond or the AFL had seen that vision when they signed off on that sanction, because it's embarrassing. Those two things don't line up. And it's okay to say, hey, we didn't know, we weren't aware, and we're going to take him out of the field of play until the courts find one way or another. I'm really surprised and disappointed, frankly. Jake Stringer was back on the weekend. He played his first game, and there's a lot of media around Jake. I just wondered, the skin folds has come out, the issues. He's been talking, Caro. If this is an attempt by the Giants to wheel him out and make him publicly available and commit to a position of his fitness, I think it's quite smart.
I was surprised at his comments. He spoke, I think, to Sam McClure in The Age about the mid-year incident where there were people in the dressing rooms and who shouldn't have been in the rooms, and Jake saying, well, Essendon didn't have a problem with it when it happened. No one spoke to me about it when it happened, and he wasn't the only player involved. And isn't it funny that it all came out at the end of the year when I was leaving the club? I was disappointed in those comments. But, you know, what an indictment on Jake Stringer that you have to have a skinfold clause in your contract. Probably a good thing.
Yeah,
sensible thing.
Good for the Giants. Smart from the Giants. Yeah.
They've handled this really well, the Giants.
Oh, they have. Adam Kingsley's a gun. He is. This has got his fingerprints all over it. But you're right. It is an indictment that, you know, you get paid more to be in shape to be an AFL footballer. It's crazy.
There was a nastiness about that interview towards his old club, who were pretty patient with him. Although, is it an indictment on Essendon too, that they never could get him really in the shape he should have been?
Well, maybe they tried and they gave up, and so they ended up trading him out. So I think both clubs have done the right thing.
And get him to commit to that publicly and perhaps leaking in the background puts pressure on him to maintain that standard, which they're trying to win a premiership. I think it's great. Hey, the Cats.
Yep.
Early days. Where do you sit? Any concern, or they've been playing? They played an elite team on the weekend. There's been run-ons in these games that have repeated themselves now for a few weeks, and of course the last game last year.
Yeah, that would be the concern for Chris Scott. Is their inability within games to stem the tide? I mean, they have been so good defensively for so long. I think there comes a point where you're void of leadership, and over the last few years, you know, it's heart and soul guys and great on-field generals like Hawkins, like Selwood, like Duncan, that are no longer out there on a regular basis. And I think that takes a toll on a group. The leadership within games is such an underrated aspect of footy, knowing what to do when other sides pick up momentum. So I think we're just seeing Geelong maybe be a little bit humanised after what has been an incredible run for a long, long time.
And we have been saying that for a long, long time.
We have. It's what they've done, the way they've been able to defy all of the equalisation measures. I mean, I'm not writing them off this year either. They'll still play finals.
You think they'll still contend?
There's a few more alarm bells than that. I'm starting to get nervous for them. Just the lack of impact from their best players and their senior players. Jeremy Cameron, I don't think Myers has been effective. Dangerfield playing a different role. So there's some slight concern for me.
He took the most marks in the history of the game, and every Monday night he gives us his marks on the weekend. It's Rouge Marks time.
Remarkable.
Thank you, Hutch. Well, let's get into it. He might be the most unlikely skipper in the AFL, but boy, is he leading like a general. He gets an A, Libba. He was brilliant on the weekend. 8 coaches' votes, strong leadership, and exactly what the Dogs needed without Bond. Sometimes you just need the absence of one of your great players to go to another level in the eyes of the footy public. How do you spell delay, AFL? With a D. Stop delaying the game for injured players. 90 seconds this took. The players all standing around, bounce the ball. He got busted ribs, yes, I know, but the umpire doesn't know that.
I'm with you.
He hasn't got X-ray vision. The players will start manipulating this if you don't jump on it.
They stopped it for Cramp the other day.
They did for Dacos in opening round. Bounce the ball, get on with the game. AFL. This guy, he's still underrated somehow, Alir. He got a B+ on what was a really miserable night for Port Adelaide, but I can tell you it would have been much, much worse for the Power without him down back. Alir, he is an absolute star. And kids, if you don't do your homework, you get bad. Jump the shark, Kane, please. You're killing my gags. Corn. Trust me, from experience, they hurt. Start practicing your goal celebrations, boys. And stay in one out of my segment.
I'm giving you an F- for climbing over the tag.
My bad.
F- for you.
Knows his history, at least.
Well done, Rouge Marks, here every Monday. The Spill is next. Essendon's recruiting latest. And the star who needs a spell. It's all ahead. On the Agenda Setters.
K's out of the city.
It's pretty remote and isolated.
It's pretty lonely.
Love, it is the best feeling in the world.
Biggest thing I'm worried about is getting heartbroken.
Please welcome Farmer Thomas.
Oh my God, he is gorgeous.
6'5", blue eyes, farmer, tick, tick, tick.
He's about to fall madly in love.
I've broken my shoe, so some would say I'm head over heels.
So let's dive in. Are you ready to dare? You never know, love could just be in the air.
Wow. I was lost for words. Oh, like that. Tonight would have been the best day of my life. I'm definitely falling for her. Pretty scary how quick I'm falling for her.
I don't know if I want to continue.
I got a bombshell dropped on me. Oh, just take a moment. Not going to lie. It's probably the worst I've actually ever been hurt.
But
Oysters and champagne.
after Easter on 7.
If I said you have a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? If I swore you were an angel, would you treat me like the devil tonight? If I was dying of thirst, would you flow in love, come quench me?
Buy any pack of Arnott Shapes and you could win the new Xbox Series X Digital Edition every day. Plus, there's 30,000 PC Game Pass prizes to be won instantly. Buy any pack of Arnott Shapes to enter.
Go on, take the plunge. Find out how adults can improve their reading and writing skills. Call the Reading Writing Hotline.
1300 655 06.
It could change your life.
If you want to do something different, even if you don't know what, Open Universities Australia is here to guide you there.